Let's talk about the three-gear habit system that keeps you going even on bad days. Now, the key to consistency, again, isn't perfection, it's about shifting your gears. Now, the first car I ever owned came out of an impound lot. Yep, my stepdad somehow talked him into letting it go for $200. Now, we patched it up with duct tape. Yes, there was duct tape, a prayer, and just enough faith to get it to run most of the time. The driver's door didn't always open. The muffler roared like a jet engine. The radio played nothing but AM static. And in the New Mexico heat where I grew up, the missing air conditioning wasn't just inconvenience. I consider it character building, right? And then one day, it even caught fire. And I'm not even kidding, guys. This is not some metaphor. These are actual flames. I was parked in front of a friend's house, and my little sister was in the back seat, and our friend was riding shotgun, right? We were headed to Sonic for cherry limeades. Do you guys remember those? They are so delicious. But anyway, I turned the key and in the ignition, and poof, there was a loud bang, and flames just came roaring out from underneath the hood. And before I could even process what happened, my little sister, she has a serious survival instinct, had climbed over me and launched herself outside through the driver's door. It opened that time for some reason. That is interesting because usually you had to reach on the outside. Maybe she reached over the open window and pulled it. I don't recall. All I know is I sat frozen for a second or two, staring at the smoke. And the next thing I remember was a 911 call. There was someone running for a fire extinguisher, a lot of yelling, and the fire got put out. And there was even, yes, the fire engines came. It was so embarrassing. The car survived, believe it or not, and so did we. But it took a little bit for me to calm down. Still, as ridiculous as that car was, it got me where I needed to go. Well, at least when it worked. But my next car was something different altogether. A 1990 white Nissan Sentra, shiny, brand new. My grandmother actually took out a home equity loan to buy it for me, and it wasn't flashy, but it was, my goodness, it was amazing. I would consider it love on four wheels, right? It ran, the doors opened, it didn't catch fire, but there was only one catch. It was a manual transmission, and I had no idea how to drive stick at that time. My first lesson was a freeway in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That is a big city, guys. My grandmother, she sat calmly in the passenger seat, and I was like gripping this wheel like it might try to buck me off, right? So clutch in, first gear, ease off while pressing the gas, stall. Try again. I rolled backwards on heels. I smoked the clutch, I'm sure more than once. Panicked at stoplights, but my grandmother never raised her voice. She never sighed. She never reached for the wheel. She just sat there, steady and silent, letting me figure it out. And somewhere along the way, it clicked, right? You can't force your way forward in the wrong gear, right? You have to match the gear to the moment. Now, that car taught me more than how to drive. It taught me how to adapt without quitting, right? And today, years later, I teach my patients and myself, sometimes over and over again, how to do the same thing with habits. So let's talk about how routine sometimes isn't enough. Now, most of the time, habit failure doesn't happen because you're lazy, right? It happens because the version of the habit you built only works under perfect conditions. The morning routine you work so hard to create, it collapses when you wake up late or sleep poorly. That structured meal plan, great, until you're traveling or emotionally drained. That ambitious workout schedule, well, it works until your body needs rest and not reps. Trying to force a high capacity habit into a low capacity day is like trying to take off in fifth gear. It doesn't make you stronger, it just stalls the engine. So, what's the better approach? Well, this is what I call the habit shape shifter. Shape shifter. Anyway, you get my play on words. So instead of building one rigid routine, you build three flexible ones. You shift, right? Each version matches your energy level. Each one keeps you in motion because real consistency doesn't mean doing the same thing every day. It means staying in the habit, even when life doesn't go as planned. So let me show you how it works. First gear is what I call the survival mode. You're for days when your tank is empty, you're sick, you're grieving, burned out, or simply human, right? This is your lowest lift version. It's light, it's frictionless, and identity protecting. Maybe you sit up and take 5 deep breaths. Drink a glass of water before your coffee. Write just one sentence in your journal. Lay out your walking shoes, even if you don't go for a walk. It isn't about momentum, right? It's about continuity. Even at your lowest, you're still the kind of person who shows up. Now, second gear is what I call the steady mode. This is your most days routine. It's solid, dependable, and sustainable. It's not flashy, it's not hard, but it builds a rhythm that makes the habits stick. A 15-minute walk, a plant-forward, no-stress breakfast, a 10-minute stretch, a short reflection or gratitude practice. This is where consistency lives, not in perfection, but in repeatability. Third gear is what I call momentum mode. This is your high capacity version, the days that you feel energized, focused, and ready to go deeper, right? You stretch, you accelerate, and you thrive. Maybe you strength training plus cardio, prepped meals aligned with your goals, deep work sessions, and creative flow, full evening wind down with journaling, connection, and reflection. Now, this gear lets you grow. It's not the goal of every day, it's the bonus round, right? Knowing when to downshift is just as powerful as knowing when to press the gas. So why does this model work even when you don't? The 3-gear habit system works because it honors your reality. It removes the shame of missing a day. It gives you something to fall back on instead of starting over. It respects your human variability instead of punishing it. It reinforces your identity without requiring perfection. Because if your habits only work on your best days, they are not sustainable. They're fragile. Remember, real habits will bend, they flex, they shift. So how do you build your own 3-gear habit system? So you just want to pick one habit, right? Excuse me, that you want to make consistent. Maybe it's movement, nourishment, journaling, screen time, sleep hygiene. It could be anything. Then define your 3 gears. The first gear, what's the simplest version you can do when you're at your lowest? Second gear, what's your most realistic, right? What is something you can do on most days version? And then your 3rd gear, what's the expanded version you do when you're thriving? Post it somewhere visible. That way, when the day hits you sideways, you don't need to throw the whole plan out. You just need to shift. All right, remember, that little Sintra didn't just get me from point A to point B. It taught me how to keep going when things didn't go smoothly. It taught me how to adjust. You downshift, you stall, recover, and you're still there, right? You still arrive. And that's what healing habits do. They don't demand perfection. They don't shame you when you slip. They simply invite you to show up at whatever speed you can manage. You're still moving and you're still becoming, and that's more than enough. So if you're looking for some help and you really want to learn how to build habits that flex with real life, and think about joining the Substack where you can get this free worksheet. And in the worksheet, I'm sharing with you, it's called the Habit Shape Shifter Worksheet, right? And this really learns it's going to walk you through the steps to create literally your own shapeshifter system. Boy, that could be a great tongue twister. Anyway, click the link below. You can get the worksheet there. It shows you how to sign up for Substack. And again, guys, thank you for being here. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you on another video. Thanks for being here.
I'm Dr. Lori Marvis. Now, if you've ever taken a multivitamin, you've probably assumed it's giving you everything that you need. But the truth is, most women's multivitamins are filled with nutrients that you're already getting from your food, while skipping the ones your body really needs to thrive. And that's where the For Her Essential System comes in. I co-created the For Her Essential System with Complement, a science-backed supplement system that provides the essential nutrients women need for optimal health. It's designed to support hormonal balance, energy, bone health, and much more, with just the nutrients we struggle to get without the unnecessary fillers. What sets the For Her Essential System apart is that it is specifically formulated for women, with dosages based on the latest research, ensuring you get what you need, so you can thrive in everything you do, all day, every day. Now, to learn more and try it for yourself, visit the link in the description below and use the code for an exclusive discount. Take control of your health with the nutrients that matter most.